All right, guys, these are your channel messages for December 2nd through the 9th, 2024, but the messages are timeless. Whenever you find them, you're meant to find them. Take what resonates and leave it doesn't. Let's get it. Okay, so the first card out is clear your mind cache, mindset releasing and reprogramming, unlearning. Sorry, guys, I'm struggling with, I don't know what's going on, like ascension flu or something, but bear with me and my froggy voice. So clear your mind cache. Second card out is this seems oddly familiar. It's giving deja vu vibes. Recognizing patterns, make a different choice, evolve or repeat, connecting the dots, figure out why this is occurring and what options you have to change. You're not stuck or trapped. And then the last card out is let it go. Holding on can do more harm than good sometimes. Stop resisting this. Let it go. So very quickly, it feels like there's this again, I said this on last week's video about this mindset deconditioning, reprogramming, unlearning. In fact, I just had this dream when I woke up this morning about seeing these kids in like a single file line going to like on a school field trip or whatever, or at school, and all I could think is like, like these kids look like, you know, they're in the prison system getting ready to have everything that makes them who they are and what they truly are, and all their uniqueness and their quirks and their gifts and their talents and abilities and all their spark and their light like taken from them. Because when they're in school, when we were in school, I can only speak from my personal experience, but when I was in school, you know, all the things that I would do, you know, unconsciously, even with them being kind of like my spiritual gifts, I could pick up on, you know, what other kids were feeling or what they were thinking, and I would they communicate with me frequently through like songs. And so randomly, you know, I would get a song in my head, or I would like hum a song or something, and you know, the teachers would frequently, you know, kind of squash that. Stop talking to kids, stop talking to everyone, you know. Schools in general immediately indoctrinate you in thinking that there is something wrong with you, with your mind, just because your brain is different from everyone else, right? Like we're quickly coming out of this old world of like only one mindset, one way, one brain being accepted in the world, and very quickly wiping, clearing out the conditioning of the old world on our minds that made us think, just as this dream told me of, you know, from childhood, being in school, of what you could not do, being reprimanded for being yourself or being outspoken or being different, or you know, exhibiting things that immediately they labeled you as having some sort of like behavioral problem or difficulty, insert the diagnosis here, right? And then we were thrown a lot of pills, to try to fix us, but like we were never broken. And it just feels like this is what's happening, where the mind, the brain is being wiped of the conditions, the labels, the programs that were thrown upon us from childhood, from schooling, of the old world, right? Because we're no longer there. That's no longer what we're meant to be operating from, right? So there's this entirely different operating system that's I said this the last couple of videos of this, the new system being programmed into your mind to try to get you back to who and what you truly are and who and what you have always been. But again, as previously just mentioned that the old world just made you feel like was not acceptable. But this thinking, the patterns, right? We're creating new patterns. We're creating new patterns. I have a friend that's a behavioral neuroscientist who could explain this perfectly in the language in which I'm very difficultly trying to explain this on. But we're creating new brain patterns here now in this current time. Whenever you find this is when you're going through it, so that we can get back to our ground zero, our homeostasis, and then step into our true divine power, and then kind of share that divine light, that divine knowledge, that divine power with others, so that they too can go through this process, right? Because it's a thing where they're just showing me kind of like there's this one candle that's lit, and that one candle goes and is lighting other candles. It's this. So it's almost like this ripple effect that is happening, or will happen, has been happening. When one person goes through this kind of awakening, deprogramming, rewiring, deconditioning thing, it's like a ripple effect that happens to others, like within a certain radius as well around them, and then so on and so forth, like, right? So this rippling kind of snowball domino effect that takes place and is taking place when I've been saying, like, when one person heals, others heal. Like, so we're going from broken people, breaking people, or hurting people, to healing people, activated people, activating people, awaken people, awakening people. Do you understand what I'm saying? You get the drift here. That's what's happening here. But it's just, I just keep getting brought back here to the mindset. It's all happening in the mind, because there's just been so many labels and conditions and diagnoses and conditioning and limitations that have been put on us that we we never needed, that was never factual. It wasn't us, right? And so now we're breaking out of that. Now we're moving on to a place where we're like, oh, this is just me. This is just who I am, right? And we're leaving behind these cycles and patterns that were just keeping us stuck and limited and restricted. That was just keeping us controlled, like blind, deaf, and dumb in the old world. and I'm I'm just trying to find like the most, that's just what it is, right? It was just a way for the old world to keep us controlled. And now we are stepping into obviously this new world where that's not a thing. And literally everything that was is sad. I mean, like it's very sad to I just feel it. It's really, really sad. Not only just for myself going through it, but I just see so many of my people who were just very, very special and very, really gifted and spiritually tapped in and had really great unique abilities. And I just kind of see them kind of snatching us up and, you know, just pouring the medicines down us and, kind of throwing you in the cellar and, playing the it's like I'm hearing these, like you've got these headphones on and it's just like these repetitive messages. You ever seen that scene in Harry Potter where like I forgot what her name was, the in the instructor at Hogwarts with the pink on with the cats, and she had him writing over and over, "I will not tell lies." Like it's like this thing, like they all the ones who have these gifts and abilities from a young age, kind of they got scooped up, thrown down, thrown the medicine, and forced to listen to this bullshit like on repeat of like to just get us to not be who we are. And that sucks. So it's us breaking these patterns. It's us going through the deconditioning and the deprogramming of those things that were repetitively given to us. And then again, like I said, I see it like being thrown into the cellar and, kind of getting like whipped into submission here of there is so much interdimensional help that's coming in and has been working with my people on this. And again, I'm being told to say again, if you're feeling just exhausted and drained and really tired, as you can see, like I'm going through it, I'm super tired. Um, please give your time, please give yourself time to just rest because this is a lot that's happening. It's a lot that's being removed. It's a lot that's being now replaced into you with the good stuff to help you to remember who and what you truly are. And not only that, but to get over kind of like the hump. It just looks like this it's kind of like you're gonna have to you're having to get like the running jump and start to kind of get over this little hurdle of PTSD from this because right, so you're going from being like whipped and punished for being who you are to having to like break through that programming of getting back to who you are after being punished and told that you could not be that, right? It's a whole process, but it just feels like there's this little hump that we're going over now, or will have to go over, or have had to, depending upon where you're at while you're watching this, or where you are along your process, what timeline you're on, all the things, right? But it's this, and then it's like once you get past that, you're able to kind of just let it go and you're able to step into who you are. You're able to do kind of these leaps and bounds of things. You enter your limitlessness effortlessly after this, but it it does. And I understandably, they want to make it very clear that like this should not be something that needs to be rushed. And they're pointing me to the card that's at the bottom of the deck here. It's just keep swimming, ideally with the currents, flow with the energies and not against. Keep pressing forward, flow, don't fight. Learn to surf the waves of the universe and trust where you're being taken. They were bringing me here to this to mentioned the fact of you don't want to force yourself to like just push through this, especially when your body is exhausted, when your mind is exhausted, when you're, when you're just run down, because it's going to do a whole lot more harm than good. If you just need to flow with it, right? So when you're feeling good and you're feeling on a roll with things, continue doing the things. But when you feel that you're hitting up against the currents, when you're going against the currents, that's when you need to lay back, release, and kind of do the treading the water, treading the waves, to get you, allow the waves to take you where you need to go, right? So think of it as being, you're just kind of bobbing in the ocean, and you're going, like you have a life jacket on, right? So you're not really having to do much effort to stay above the water. But if at any point in time you find yourself trying to like paddle against the waves, and you're being beaten and battered by it, you're doing something wrong. Like you're not meant to be plunging forward in whatever direction it is that you're trying to go. So please remember that. Always have this, use the analogy, the vision of the waves. So when you're with anything that you're doing, say it's a job, you're going to the house, you're making a decision on friends, opportunities, whatever the case may be, envision yourself in the ocean, right? You've got your life jacket on, everything is effortless. But if the direction that you're trying to swim or go in meets up with being beaten and battered by the waves, it's not for you. Like you're meant to release the control and allow yourself to be carried effortlessly into the direction, into the decision, into the person, into the opportunity that you're meant to go. But like if you're consistently meeting up against resistance on something, it means one of two things: you're not meant to go there at that time, and or it's not for you, right? So again, always just go back to your release and flow when all else fails. Okay? You don't want to be doing this person trying to swim against the waves. The waves is about to overtake him. The water's choppy. You don't want to be trying to swim in the choppy waters, right? When the waters are choppy, you want to just release. Allow that life jacket to just carry you and stay afloat effortlessly. Hell, like lay back on your back and just kind of look up at the clouds and allow yourself to be taken where you're meant to be taken, or allow yourself to just be in that area, just bobbing until the waves calm down, right? It was a super long analogy for this, but that's what they gave me, and that's what you need to know going forward with these things. It's really important. This whole mindset clearing, reprogramming, deconditioning, rewiring, reactivation, all the things, healing is taking place at the energetic, cellular, and genetic DNA levels, inside and out, from head to toe. And so it's a huge process, and it's really something that you need to give yourself time, grace, and compassion to go through, and not be in this must trudge forward, you know, this fight against the waves current thing. And whatever this was, is that you are holding on to, that you should let go, let go. You will be okay. You will be taken care of. You will be supported in this new phase that you're getting ready to enter. It's this, going into like January, February, springtime. There's a whole lot of newness. There's a whole lot of new things, opportunities, people, places, all these things that are opening up for you. It's okay to let it go. I hope this was helpful. That is what I have for you all. Please stay tuned. I'm getting ready to drop an ebook. It is the New Earth Guidebook. It's coming out soon. I'm saying either late January or early February. And you'll see me do some promos for that. I also am getting ready to drop some courses and all the things. It's big stuff that's happening for you guys for the highest good of all. And of course, we always have my Ascension Oracle deck, the V Squad Oracle deck, if you are interested. Everything will be listed in the description box below if interested. And until next time, I'll see you. V Squad. Oh wait, also you can you can book a session with me as well. Okay, V Squad.